Hi guys, my name is Karthik and I am from easyautomation.com. And today in the second video of our ChatGPT of OpenAI's artificial intelligence based application development, testing or whatever that you can do. In this video, we're going to see how we can develop an application all together in the ASP.NET Core world and also write a unit test as well as mutant test and then integration test all together in this ChatGPT. So we are going to do everything by just supplying one model of the code, and then this model is going to help us create some controllers, and then we're going to write the unit test, integration test as well as mutant test in it. So let's see how we can able to do all these things in this particular ChatGPT without writing even a single line of code. And you can actually compare the same code which I have already written within my project so that we can see the comparison whether the code is really working or not. So as you can see over here within this ChatGPT that I have already signed in, I'm going to start writing all the code. But before we do that, you can see that I have my application over here, and this is the application that I have created exclusively for my course in Udemy. So if you have my course already, you know what this particular code is actually going to be doing. But as you can see over here, I have an EDA inventory API project, which is especially used for doing an event-driven application accessing from an API to a RabbitMQ. So as you can see, I have controllers for the product controllers over here. And this product controller is basically doing this. It's going to perform creation of a product by doing a post product, and then it is going to do an updation of the product that you're going to update an existing product, and then you're going to see there is a get product. So these are things that it is currently doing over here. And the only catch over here is it has a RabbitMQ, so don't worry about that at all. But you can see that the way it is going to be designing this is all circulating around the products model. So this products model is what I'm talking about. So you can see that it has a products model which has got an ID, product ID, name, and quantity. So I'm going to see if I could able to create all these create, update, and delete product and get all the products controllers being created using this supplied model and see if that works. And if that works actually, then we can see if we could able to create a unit test, integration test, and mutant test across it. So for doing that, I'm going to go back over here, and then I'm going to say in the ChatGPT that write ASP.NET Core controller code for get, update, create, and delete. This is additional code that I'm telling with entity framework for model this one. So you can see that I'm supplying a lot of requests here. Write an ASP.NET Core controller code for get, update, create, delete with entity framework for the model, this model, right? I'm gonna hit enter. Sometimes I'm getting a request timeout these days because looks like a lot of people are trying to use this ChatGPT. So if we do get it this time, I'm not surprised. So you can see that it is starting to write the code for us already. It says that here's an example of how you can write a controller code for the product model using ASP.NET Core and entity framework. So it is already starting to write the controller base, and you can see that it has created a constructor, pretty nice. And you can also see that it is doing a get operation right now. And then you can see that there is a get product where it is going to find all the product using the find async. And there is a put product which is going to update the product, and you can see that the entity state is also being modified, which is great. And then you're also telling to perform a post operation, so it is writing the post operation for you. But while it's doing that, you see that we're getting a network error. This is what I was talking about. So I'm getting this network error quite often. I think this is because the network has been overwhelmed by a lot of requests, but still you can do a try again to create this whole thing for you. And you can see that this time it has chosen a different way. That is saying that it's going to create an action method for get, update, create, and delete operation for a product model. I mean, this time the AI is also getting it right to tell what exactly the operation that it is going to be doing. I mean, this is really, really mind-blowing. You can see that all the code that we used to write, babysit and write all the time to create any of the APIs, we could able to achieve all these operations by just telling what we wanted by one single model. We are not even writing even a single line of code here. It is all really happening for us automatically. And you can also compare the same code with my existing controller code, as I told you. So you can see that the get product, I'm doing a context.products.toList. So if you see that this code, the get product, the db context.product.toList async, great. And it's also writing an asynchronous code for us already. And there is this update product, where you're gonna save the changes in the product DB context, so you can see the update product. You're also doing more checkings here, which is even more amazing. So you can do that. You can see that the entity state, if it is modified, then it's going to save the changes. If not, it's going to throw you a not found exception kind of error, which is great. And the exception handlings are mind blowing. I have even not written my code, probably just going to copy paste the whole thing over here. Well, that said, let's see if we could able to do a small, for this particular controller, we're going to write some of the unit tests. So write ASPNET core unit test for controller, this one. So I'm telling, this is what I wanted. I just want this unit testing to be done. I think this is going to make the developer's life more easier, because they are more reluctant to write most of the time to write the unit test. Using this kind of tools in place, they just have to copy paste and tell, write a unit test for me, and you will see that it is going to start writing the unit test for you using mocks and stuff. So you can see that it is automatically starting to do all these things for us. And you will see that it is initializing the test dependencies, and it is also using the in-memory database. And you will notice that it is writing a beautiful test for me. It's also doing an arrange, act, and assert operation, and then verifying what is going to be the operation that you are looking for. I mean, this is not just a simple unit test it is doing. I think it has done what is called as an integration test in here, because it is using the in-memory database instead of using any mocks. So you're essentially creating a database here and then performing the operation. So I think this is more like an integration test, not unit test. As I told you, this ChatGPT is still in the beta state, still a lot of changes are happening. So you may expect some of the discrepancies here, but I think this code is already legal. And now let's try to write the same code with the, instead of the actual unit test over here, I'm going to write the integration test. So as I told you, this is already an integration test. So let's see what different integration tests that it's going to do for an in-memory database as well as the application. So write integration test for ASP.NET Core controller with in-memory application and database. So I think it's a lot of request already. So if I try doing this, let's see if this is gonna actually work or not. So I think if we just have to pretty much like tell what we wanted, and this whole system is gonna do all those brain logic for us to write the code, which is great. And I mean, I've already written the integration test for these controller codes over here, and I will see if that is gonna really happen over here. So you can see that it is already initializing a web host builder, which is an in-memory ASP.NET Core application it is trying to do for me, which is amazing. And then it is also adding all the services and stuff. It's also adding all the routers, all the endpoints, and then it's also setting up the mapping of the controller. And then it is starting a in-memory test server using the web host builder. This is mind-blowing. I mean, I have never seen anybody can even write such a better code by just telling what I wanted. So you can see that with that controller, it is already writing all the code for me. And I mean, I don't really have a word to say here, like how this code has to be written in this better fashion. It is already doing it for me over here. So I can just literally copy this code and start using it, and this code is going to work for me. So unit testing is checked. The controller code development is already checked. And we also have our integration testing done. Network error is there, don't worry about it, but it is already working. You just saw that. And finally, I'm going to write a mutant test for the controller. So I'm going to say write mutant test for ASP.NET Controller. Oh, sorry, it says too many requests, please slow down. I think I shouldn't be copy pasting the controller code here. I should be copy pasting the unit test code. So I'm gonna copy this particular unit test over here. So I'm gonna say write mutant test for my unit test code in ASP.NET Core over here. So I'm going to supply this part, and we'll see if that is going to happen. And this is what I'm actually getting for past a couple of days. Like it's saying too many requests, please slow down. And I think it is because the servers of the ChatGPT is overwhelming, but I have seen this working as well. So it is automatically going to create all those things for you. Like it is going to write a mutant test to test your unit test and see how that is actually working. So yeah, this is amazing. I think this part of the chat GPT, if it is fully working, we may probably have a trend where the way that we write our quality code is going to improve even further, and the level of people actually using this chat gpt to verify their code is going to increase as well. And yeah, this code is quite amazing. I think, as I told you, just we supplied only one model here. It created the controller, it created the unit test, integration test, and also mutant test in much easier fashion. So yeah, that is quite cool, and I think it is amazing. That's it, guys. Once again, please let me know what you really wanted to see in other video about this chat gpt, not just the too many request error kind of thing, but if you wanted to see something more specific, let me know. We can try that. And also let me know what you think about the chat gpt. Is it horrifying, or is it going to be replacing some of the human being pretty soon? Not sure. Just put your comments below. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a great day.